Hey trackies, welcome back to another video here on TXT Track Time. Please remember to like the video and also subscribe to the channel. The relays! I wouldn't be tea if I'm not talking about relays at some particular point in time, going in and letting Team Jamaica know that we have to get it together. And now with them introducing the mixed 4x100 meters, yeah, even more now than ever, Jamaica needs to get it together. Because if we don't get it together, and I mean get it together right now, immediately, right? Then Jamaica is doomed. The amazing legacy that we've built up or managed to build up over the years, especially for the 4x100 meters, right, is going to be gone. Based on what I'm looking at for every other country that's now challenging and the work that they're willing to put in that Jamaica apparently is not willing to do, right, to maintain, the stranglehold on potentially on the gold one and just medaling too, right? At this particular point, I'm thinking that, hey, Jamaica's glory days are probably, over when it comes to the 4x100 meters. Sadly, if we don't make any changes. And I have a reason for saying this, as I said, there a lot more countries now that are able to be competitive, right? But not only that, they're putting in, as I said, the work. Now, interestingly, I was keyed in on by a trackie for, the head coach of Team USA. She did an interview, and I'm going to link it in the description for those who, have not had an opportunity to watch it. It has been in my feed, interestingly. I just didn't watch it. But anyway, I did watch it now, right? And for the first time, I actually became emotional about Team USA defeating Jamaica in anything. You know what I mean? And I mean, happy for Team USA, right? Now, clearly, you guys understand how competitive I am, right? And the rivalry between Jamaica and America. There's no way I'm going to be excited that we're losing. You know what I mean? But for the first time, as I said, I was emotional and in a good way for Team America because listening to the head coach, Michelle Freeman, and the science behind her thought process and putting a team together and it eventually working, there's no way I couldn't be anything but happy for Team America, given that Jamaica not the right? How can I be mad at persons that are willing to try new ways to get something done when I'm watching Team Jamaica having all this, all these diamond athletes, and they're not willing to, do anything to make sure that we walk away with that win, right? So she spoke about, a lot of things, and it kind of confirmed for me as well that I'm actually not lunatic. You know what I mean? Y'all love to play me. You all love to play me when it comes to these videos and my thoughts. And I be talking about, especially the relays, and I be talking about what Jamaica needs to try to do, because she pretty much talked about, some of the same things. And I'm like, okay, girl, you know what you're talking about a little bit. But anyway, so Michelle Freeman, the head coach, spoke to a few things that she's employed as it relates to the science in her mind to ensure that Team USA is able to put their best foot forward. And this has now led to three back-to-back gold medals, 2022, 2023, 2024. And I mean, even a 2022 team that went against a giant powerhouse Team Jamaica, lots of persons were flabbergasted. I mean, the writing was on the wall for me because I was talking about it for years before that, hey, we need to make some changes because y'all don't see that, this is deteriorating. Y'all are not seeing it, but I'm seeing it. We need to make changes, but we kept depending on the speed of the athlete, that will fix everything. And then at this particular point, it's no longer working. And given the fact that now we're in a place where some of these athletes will be bowing out soon, Jamaica's glory days are probably behind us, right? So she mentioned, making sure that she selects the right athletes for the right legs. Dear God, how much times have I stressed this? Picking the right athletes for the right legs. No, 1, 2, 3 is automatic. Based on the trials, 1, 2, 3 in the 100 meters is automatic. But you're not limited to the athletes that place in the 100 meters, and Jamaica keeps boxing themselves in and thinking that, oh, we can't go look for somebody that only competed in the 200 meters or only competed in the 4, or maybe somebody from the hurdles, for God's sake. You know what I mean? We keep limiting ourselves, and as such, we are limiting the progress that we could have been potentially making in that 4x100 meters. Not Team USA. They're looking all over. And of course, she's structuring this relay around the potential three. So, okay, fine. We get these three. And every year it's different. Every year it's different. The three athletes, it's not like with Jamaica, where we have seen a long stretch with the big three, with a Shelly, Elaine, and Sharika. For them, every year it's probably a different three, or maybe only one person returns. You know what I mean? So she has to keep, navigating that and, making up a relay around those athletes. And then you also have to take into consideration that sometimes some of these athletes are not even healthy. So it makes things even worse, right? So taking those things into consideration, she has her three, and she's like, okay, it looks like I need somebody for second, or maybe need somebody for third, which she said is the hardest leg to fill, because everybody comes in as an anchor runner, and then you have a few specialists that are starters, but you really find people that are specialist third leg runners, outside of like a Jenna Prandini, that she highlighted, right, as one of the best, from an international perspective when it comes to running that third leg. But so she takes that into consideration, and I'm like, Jamaica, are we doing the same thing? Let me give you an example. There's been a huge discussion, or we always have huge discussions about who fits what leg. And clearly, trackies, y'all always have your opinions, and of course, I give my take on who should run what leg. Now, let me give you an example between why I would switch a Shelly and Fraser Price to run backstretch and put like an Elaine Thompson here on anchor if these athletes are healthy. Right now, we're going into new ages, new times. We don't know who these athletes will be, going forward, who will make up Jamaica's relay team. But I'm talking about things that we've seen in the past, right? So the reason why I, said that is because on one hand, and she touched on this as well, where she talked about the baton and it not slowing down, and it having a lot to do with how these athletes accelerate. Ding, ding, ding. Is this something that I've also mentioned? Think about Elaine Thompson here and her acceleration. Remember, she's famous for you guys saying, oh, she's always running, leaving the baton. And I said to y'all, is Elaine Thompson here really running left the baton? Or is she, or the coaches, sorry, using the generic, placement for the marker to say, okay, take off here. But by the time Elaine takes off and she drops in 2-3 steps, she's gone with like the wind, because her acceleration, is crazy, right? So the reason why I would say move Elaine from there and move Shelly to second is because Shelly, which they did in 2023, and you guys saw that it made more sense to keep her there. It's just unfortunate that, Shelly got injured, so it didn't work out how Jamaica was hoping. But with that being said, right, at least they tried. A little too late, in my opinion. But, right, so Shelly and Fraser Price, with all her experience, also has ridiculous acceleration as well. The difference is Shelly and Fraser Price is able to make adjustments in her acceleration with who is incoming better than an Elaine Thompson Hera is. And you have to admit these things. You have to be able to look at the athletes, look at how they're running, and see that this athlete is better at doing XYZ better than the other athlete. And as such, we're going to be putting that athlete on this leg and that athlete on the other leg, because she might as well go run left the other person. While when Elaine Thompson Hera has a faster athlete that is incoming to her, let's say, for instance, if Shelly is handing over to Elaine, or Sherika is handing over to Elaine, more than likely you won't see an instance of her running leave the baton, in those instances. But as I said, based on what Michelle Freeman, said, how they break down, watching an athlete's acceleration, and as such being able to know adjust markers so that the athlete is able to be more effective, and of course not have the baton slow down, tells you a lot. Jamaica, what are we doing? What are we doing? We're clearly behind the times. We're clearly backward in our thinking, because Team America has made so much strides to get it right. And as I said, it's the relays. Even with all of these, changes for the better, it may not go, according to plan, and that's life sometimes. But at least they tried. Team Jamaica is not doing anything else, anything at all. And then you have where we have to contend with all these other countries that know Not only do they have athletes with the leg speed, but they're also dedicating time to ensuring that they're also able to have the synergy required for these four to be effective in a relay championship and potentially, walk away with a medal, right? Team Jamaica, yeah, we have to definitely get it together. There's so many opportunities that will be coming for athletes in the future. And we can't keep playing games. Like, we can't keep doing this. We have to think about it. 2024 here for the Olympic Games. No thought process went into the relays. Absolutely none. Right? None went into the relays. And even when you guys had Kemba come in, you guys didn't even think of which leg best suited Kemba. You just tossed her on the second leg. And I'm like, who is creating these relay legs? Who is thinking about who is best suited for where? Because clearly you're not looking at the data that is available to see what has Alana Reid done in the past, right? Because we had Alana to Kemba, if I'm not mistaken, to Sasha Lee, to Tia, right? I believe that's what has happened in 2024. So I'm like, who is looking at these things to say it's better this way than the other way around? Alana would have been, in my humble opinion, the better second leg runner at that moment than a Kemba putting her on second. But it's gone. We can't change that. But I'm hoping that going forward, no, Team Jamaica really starts to think about the science behind the relays and stop thinking about who are the fastest four. As I've done told you already in videos, at this particular point, I'm over the fastest four. I'm over it absolutely. Because if some of these athletes are not even willing to, be a part of the team and get the ultimate goal, which is winning, Michelle Freeman spoke to clearly there's a lot of ego with these top athletes. But at the bottom line for all these athletes at the end of the day is, what do you want? Do you want to win? Then let's make it work. You know what I mean? And I think Jamaicans at this particular point start to think that we don't even have the ability to look past whatever else, may be bothering us and just look at the bottom line. Winning. Let's make it work because we all want to win. And I think that that's something that Team America has that we don't have at this particular point. So we need to also get that working, the camaraderie between the athletes. I don't care which camp you're from, who are you, never did are no friend right now. Who cares? When y'all toe the line together as a team, a 4x1 team, all that should be out the door and y'all should be ready to run, in my opinion. But anyway, trackies, let me know your thoughts in the comment section below. Do you think the relays, the 4x1s, for Jamaica on the female side right now as things stand seem to be doomed, and we may see our rich, history legacy in the 4x100 meters, making a change for the worse if we don't make changes? Let me know your thoughts. Of course, like the video and subscribe to the channel. I'll catch you on the next one. Bye.